Hi guys, so I am back here at Lake 86, Cotswold Water Park Hire, where I'm about to go for a swim in this fabulous lake. Before I do that, I just want to share with you something that happened on Tuesday as a result of partly the hot weather and partly some news items over the previous week. So over the last week there have been 11 drownings in the UK, and many of those we suspect are to do with the hot weather and people entering the water and then getting themselves into trouble. So on Tuesday I was asked to speak on BBC Radio Wiltshire about safety and open water swimming. I really wanted just to share with you today what I shared with listeners on Tuesday, and to add just a little bit of information that was not included in that interview. So I was asked about how to get into open water swimming safely, and things to consider and things to keep in mind. My recommendations, if possible, are to swim at a safe, supervised venue. So somewhere like the lakes here, where there is safety cover on the water all the time. So there is always somebody watching the water. There is also rescue facilities and first aid on hand should, heaven forbid, something go wrong. I appreciate that lots of you might choose to swim elsewhere, and there are lots of other places where people also can swim safely if they use a little bit of common sense and just stop and think before they get in the water and once they're in the water. So things to think about if you're getting started in open water. Most open water coaches, myself included, offer introduction to open water sessions which cover the main issues, the main dangers, the main considerations, as well as kind of swimming related concerns to do with open water swimming, open water safety, environmental issues and that. So if you can, before you set about for your first open water swim, please consider booking onto one of these introduction to open water sessions. There's lots of coaches around, we're quite easy to find, so that's worth considering. One of the biggest things I always say to people who ask me about open water swim is don't ever swim on your own. Doesn't matter how good a swimmer you are, please don't get into the water on your own. And by that I mean there could be somebody on the lakeside or shore side or on the banks of the river watching you, but somebody should have eyes on you, so that should something happen, they can swim and help. There's lots of ways to find fellow swimmers, particularly on social media nowadays. Social media is a fantastic way to get in touch with other swimmers, and there's lots of local swimming groups that you can find on Facebook and other social media sites, which organise swims so that people can find safer places to swim and swim with other swimmers. Check the weather forecast. I know we've had some fantastic weather over the past week, obviously, but the weather does change, and it can change quite quickly depending on where you are. So don't get caught out by changing weather. Once you've chosen your venue and you're arrived and ready to get in, I would say take some time to just watch the water and just get a sense of what is happening. Are there any safety signs on the site that you need to be aware of, things that you need to watch out for? Are there other water users, and if there are they going to see you? So swimmers can be really hard to spot from a boat or a paddleboard or a canoe if they are not wearing anything bright. So bright swimming hat, a bright toe float, bright costumes, just be visible, be seen. Have a look at the water. If it's not still water, if it's a river, how fast is it moving and what direction is it moving in? Plan your entry, plan your exit. Where are you going to get in? Where are you going to get out? If you're swimming downstream, Is there an exit earlier than the one that you might plan, or is there an exit later than the one that you might plan in case you miss it, or if you want to stay in a wee bit longer? Look for currents in the water, currents that you can see, and also remember there could be underwater currents that you may not be able to see. If you're in the sea, have a think about the tides, find out the tide times. Is the tide going in, coming out? Is it on the turn? Do you know how to spot a rip current? If you don't, please find out before you head out to the water. Are there any obstructions in the water? Trees overhanging the side of the rivers, or overhanging the side of the lakes? Underwater obstructions, things like weirs, things like mechanisms. Just be really vigilant that you might not be able to see, particularly in deeper or murkier waters, what is under the surface. So see if you can find out and have a good look before you wade in. How deep is it? Does it get deeper gradually, or does it just, is there a steep shelf that just goes very quickly downwards? Is it even depth? Does the depth change? How are you going to find out? Have a little walk maybe around the edge of the lake, or down the riverbank, and have a little look, see what you can see before you get in. So all of those things to think about before you get in. When you've decided that it's time and that everything is cool, don't just jump. I would always say wade sensibly and determinedly into the water. It's very warm out today, not quite so much as it was on Tuesday, but bodies of water in the UK are not always as warm as you might imagine them to be, and some of them are still cold even on a hot day. So just be mindful that you could be jumping into some water that is not as warm as you think, and certainly not as warm as your local swimming pool. Finally, when you're in the water enjoying your swim, lots of things can happen. You can get cramped, you can get tired, you can get anxious, you can have a little panic. If you are feeling in trouble in the water, turn onto your back, float. So arms out, legs out, tummies up, chin up, do a little star float, and just calm yourself if possible. Buy yourself some time to have a little think about a strategy. What are you going to do? Are you going to carry on? Are you going to try and get out? Do you need to try and attract somebody's attention? There's lots of information about open water swimming out there. I offer a Top Tips Tuesday on my social media sites, so there's lots of tips every Tuesday, almost every Tuesday. Have a look at those for help of advice, just everyday stuff that will help you get started. The Royal Life Saving Society, RLSS, website has lots of information, and of course their Float to Live campaign is hopefully well known out there. The Outdoor Swimming Society website and Outdoor Swimmer magazine website also have huge amounts of information on getting started, on safety, on things to be aware of. Everything that I've said so far is not supposed to put you off. Open water swimming is amazing. I love it, obviously, and if you can do it safely, it is such an enjoyable and really, really wonderful thing to do for so many reasons. It has so many benefits. But please be safe out there. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Things that I've said to you today are the basics, the fundamentals. Stay safe out there. 11 deaths in a week is 11 too many. I'm off on my swim now, and I will catch up with you soon. Take care.